Public transit, yes.
Yes, those are tote bags.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I just folded them up so that they'd sit nice on the
yeah,
shelf.
right.
But
No, I take the bus every other Friday to Saturday.
Yep.
I'm going tomorrow.
that's good.
Yeah, well, my goodness. You know, it costs $5 to go, and if I tried my pickup, it's $12.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm to the point where I don't drive out on the highway unless, well, I go to the cemetery.
How are you this
I
evening?
go
Good.
as
How
far
are
as the
you? Doing
cemetery.
well, thank you. Good. Are you here for the tech talk?
I am.
Oh, wonderful. Please make yourself at home.
You have a kitty, huh?
Well, he's actually belongs to the Pine Ridge Service Center next door,
Oh.
but he's one of my most frequent patrons. He likes to come by and do a perimeter check,
That's
make sure.
cool. That's what they do.
Yeah, make sure there's no mice.
Yeah.
And then he accepts his wages in kibbles.
Oh, cute.
So I give him a snack whenever he comes by,
That's-
but just once a day.
Yeah, you know.
I imagine that's why he comes over, is for the snack.
Well, he likes taking naps in the armchairs as well.
Oh, yeah.
And he
So-
is checking the perimeters, so I mean, he's earning his wage.
Yes. He's so
It's a
sweet.
nice looking cat, though. I
It
mean,
is.
He sure is. Doesn't he look just like Tom from Tom and Jerry?
Yeah, he's
no, yeah.
Yeah.
You
That
know, he
same
just looked
blue
like he
blue.
was gonna jump in the chair and he didn't jump in the chair.
He was checking it for mice, I suppose.
No, don't say anything up there. So I
Oh.
have the Libby app on my phone, that's okay, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
The cool thing about Libby is that it looks almost exactly the same on the website or the app.
Oh,
So
good.
I'll be demonstrating some stuff on the phone so you can feel free, or on the computer, so you
Good.
can feel free to follow along. Cause I'll show you some tips and tricks about settings and
Yeah,
stuff too
cause
to
I
make it.
got it all set up and
Mhm.
now I reserved a book and it says I'm in line and then I got another book and I passed the deadline, I'm like, oh, I need to be checking this a little more daily, I think, or.
Oh, well, there's notification settings that you can set up
Yeah.
too to say like, let me know when a hold is ready.
Yeah, and I bet I
or
didn't.
when a book is coming due. Nice
Yeah.
thing about Libby's, there's no late fees, so
Yeah, that's cool.
awesome.
Yeah, I was telling my sister-in-law, you need to do this, and she says, I still buy books, and I like reading them that way, and I'm like, okay.
Yep. Well, the nice thing about, well, if you're buying digital books, it's pretty instant, but if you're buying physical books, you still gotta wait for them to get shipped in.
She's buying physical books, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Or she goes to the store and gets them. Then she said she'd give them to her local library, and I said, well, that's good too, so.
yeah. Yep,
Cause I don't want the clutter of all the books around, you know,
I understand.
except for collector ones, and then you keep them.
The only time I was really adamant about trying to buy physical books was when I was in college. I would try to buy well, I studied literature, so we read a lot of books. But I tried to get copies physically so that I could give them to the college in case those books came up in later classes, so that if it was helpful to anybody, they'd have extra copies in case they couldn't buy the textbook themselves.
Yeah.
They had copies to loan out. So, but besides Libby, there's a lot of other free reading resources too. So if that comes up, we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad you're doing this. It's
Yeah, this was one of the more requested tech talks that we
Really?
had gotten. Yeah, I think they'd done it about a year or so ago, maybe a little more. And a little bit has changed in Libby since then, so it's like it doesn't hurt. So,
so bad.
but yeah, we'll give it just another minute or so, and then we'll get started.
Okay, I know Connie and Twyla are coming.
Oh, great. Yep. Now I've been helping some of the American Legion guys get set up with Libby too.
What is Libby? I don't even know.
Well, that'll be the first topic of discussion in the presentation.
Oh, good, okay.
So I promise to tell you.
All right.
Or I'll
that's
keep it
good.
a secret forever. We'll see.
Yeah.
Are you pretty computer savvy? Do you know how to?
Once in a while I can get one turned on.
Oh, could be a challenge.
I don't know anything.
Oh.
I had a mentor, he referred to computers as disputers.
Yeah.
Always a dispute.
I've got,
Yeah.
my daughter's coming and I hope she can help me figure out how to
Hello.
turn the
Just want to have the
computer on.
instructions on Libby.
Mm-hmm, that's the right place. Please make yourself at home.
Okay. I brought my pen.
Made it right on time.
Well, what's the kitty's name?
His name is Ash.
Ash?
Yep, he's named after Ash Street.
Oh, Ash Street. Hi, Ash. You are
Well,
pretty.
he relates to you very well,
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's a sweetheart. But someone was,
I like his stripes, they're cute.
they are such a beautiful bluish shade of gray.
Mm-hmm.
So, good evening. How are you guys today?
You girls are,
Looked for your,
I'm across the street, I didn't want to take up the parking over here.
How are you, Holly?
Pretty good.
And then I'm like, well, then I don't want to be in front of his
I
sign.
don't get around.
Look at my pretty monarch.
No, never did.
Well, yes, she did.
Throw my glasses at you there.
Follow up with things.
Yep.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, there you go.
That was my daughter, I
Oh,
told
like
her.
my
Yes, she did get around. She always
No
going.
worries. Gives everybody a chance to settle,
Deb says she
Yeah.
can't make it
Yep.
to take notes.
get comfy. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I guess we can go ahead and get started.
How are you?
So, a show of hands, who has a library card account with our public library here?
Well, I had 100,000 years ago, so
I
That's
do
great.
too.
still do.
I don't
Alright.
remember what it is, but it's in my,
And a show of hands, how many people have begun using the Libby app already?
I
Or tried?
started, but
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get very far.
Awesome. Well, today I thought we'd talk about navigating Libby. So for whether you're a beginner or whether you've been using it for a long time, hopefully you learn a little something new. But this is kind of meant to be an orientation of sorts so that you know what every corner of it really does. And for those of us who haven't used Libby before, what the heck is Libby? Libby is an app that is accessible from website form and as an app in the App Store on computers and personal devices like tablets and phones. And so you can access it from that website, libbyapp.com, or you can download it. And it gives you access to over 70,000 digital titles of ebooks, audiobooks, and magazines. Now, our library has access to this program through the Nebraska Library Commission. So it's overseen by the commission as a whole, and there's different districts of Nebraska. We're part of the Western Library System, and so we share our titles with that system. So it gets updated by bigwigs very regularly. So you'll find a lot of new titles in here, maybe even faster than I can get them here in the library. So whenever someone's asking me, do you have this book or maybe some by this author, I always check our catalog here and Libby just to make sure that they have access to it one way or another.
So can you put this app on multiple and it's, okay, perfect.
Yep. I'll point that out when we start
Okay.
navigating through the app because you can sync it up to different devices.
Do you actually have to put the app on your phone and your tablets?
If you want to read with the Libby app, you'd have to put it on each device.
Okay.
But it is free in every app store.
you
If you
gotta
use,
put it on separately?
well, if you have a tablet and a phone,
Yeah.
you'd have to download the app to each device.
But it
So-
kind of cross-references what you're reading. so-
Yep, because it's associated with your library card account. So whatever you check out, whatever titles you check out with your library card will follow you from device to device. Is that tracking so far?
Mhm.
Cool. Let's see. And just as a side note, the magazines that they have such a variety, and magazines are so expensive. I don't know if any of you have tried to buy one, especially one of the fancier ones, but they're starting to be like $10, $15 a piece now.
Oh my.
So
gosh.
checking out one magazine on Libby is an immediate savings.
Wow.
So I think there might be a feature on the Overdrive website that calculates how much you saved by all the books you checked out through that, but I'll have to dig into that. So in order to use Libby, there's a couple of things you need. First of all, you need a library card account. Setting that up with our library is very simple. It's a one-page form, so if you have an account and you're not sure it's active, we can look at that with you, or we can get you signed up. And honestly, besides you filling out the form, it only takes about 2 minutes for me to get that set up. So we can have you rocking and rolling with all the titles here in the library and the 71,000 titles in about 2 minutes. Besides a library card account, you'll also need a device to read the digital materials on, whether that's a desktop computer, a laptop, a phone or a tablet, or a Kindle, which is another kind of tablet that is specific to Amazon. So, let's see. Clicky.
The cat, the station cat.
Oh, yes.
Okay, checking the place out.
Let's see, let's go. Oh, it's from all across the street, it came in here?
No,
All right.
Comes
So-
over and checks out.
Yep, he looks out over us.
Oh.
So once you have those things in hand, then you can get started right away. So now that we've talked about that, that's just a little bit of introduction. Let's assume now that you have the app, whether you've logged into the web or opened up the website or downloaded it to your device. The menus will look about the same. So when I'm going to be demonstrating navigating through the app on the computer here, but it'll look almost identical to how it looks on your tablets and phones as well. So they did a really good job of making that cross-compatible. But the website, again, is, there we go, libbyapp.com. So you type that into any address bar, whether you're on Firefox or Chrome, and it'll bring you here if you've not ever signed in before. So the walkthrough menus are pretty straightforward, but I'll show you some tips and tricks for how to find your library quickly. So first it's going to ask, and I will, oh, that doesn't help. It first asks whether or not you have a library card. So in this case, we'll say yes. Now it'll try to offer to help you find your library, and the fastest way is to search for your library. So that'll be this second button right here. From there, it says you can go by library name, city or town name, or zip code. And I found that zip code is the fastest one. 69339. Whoa. Okay. And so here you see the search results, and ours is going to be Crawford Public Library, which falls under the Nebraska, the whole state. So we'll click on this, and now it'll show you the dashboard for that entire library. You'll notice over here that it's got further options for getting your library card connected. So add a library card for Nebraska Overdrive libraries. You can sign in with your card, or it'll give you information for how to get one.
Is there a icon on that? I don't think I have I can get into it, but I don't have it as an icon.
You don't have the icon on your tablet, you mean?
No.
Okay, in that case, let me pull up the,
I go through,
do you have Libby? Does it say Libby?
no, I go through, my internet and then put in Libby and I
Oh,
get it.
okay,
But it'd
so,
be easier if I had an icon, just go right through it.
exactly.
I don't
In
think
that
so.
case, you would want to go to one of your app stores. So if it's an iPad, you'll go to your
Apple.
app store. It's
Okay.
a blue icon that has kind of a crossed A shape for Apple. And then you'd search for Libby in that store, and this is what the icon will look like.
Okay, cause
Did
I
you
don't
download?
think, no. Is that the same on the phone too?
Yes, it'll
Okay.
look the same across
I don't have,
devices.
I don't have that, cause I can't do it now, cause I'm not on your internet.
Gotcha. Well, maybe we can get that set up
Okay.
after we've
Okay.
explored some. So let me just refresh. So we're looking at those further options to connect your library card. We're going to select the one that says sign in with my library card. Let's see. Okay. So in order to select it, it's got the one that we had kind of found. We're going to select that one for sure again. And at this point, this is when your library card number comes in handy. If you don't know it, it's super easy for me to look up. I can always tell you over the phone if you're at home or something. as well. So we'll use my library card number just as a demo. My library card number is 3014, and this library card number is not space or case sensitive. So if you put a lowercase p and squish it together, it'll understand what you're talking about. So we'll go ahead and hit.
I don't think I had to put a P in.
I don't either.
The app tries to be very accommodating because lots of different libraries will have their library cards look a little different. So they try to make it so that it's simple as can be for the user to put their library card number in.
So you have to put the P in again?
I just
Or-
do out of habit because I'm constantly entering data. So
But you would have to put in your library cards, not automatically.
correct. Yes,
Oh,
you
I
have
see.
to
Just
feed
the
that.
first time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. First time on each device.
Okay.
Yep. So you'd have to enter your library card number into at least one device, and then there is an option to copy what you've logged in across devices, but we'll get into that in a little
Okay.
bit. All right, so now that we've entered our library card number, we're gonna hit next, and then the PIN is the same for the entire library, and it's the word Whitman, like the author and poet. So, and that's gonna be just so, and it's not case sensitive or anything either, but that's WHITMAN. Yep. And then we'll sign in. And here it is, it's pulled it up. Our library card on Libby affords us up to 6 loans at a time. And then we can place holds on up to 3 titles to be waitlisted to get the next available copy. In this little ellipses further options kind of button, there's options to give it a new name. So if you're like me and collected library cards everywhere you went in the service and you have a bunch of library cards, sometimes it helps to shorten the name when you're selecting between them. But this, as it is usually very functional. You don't have to really do anything here. Okay, and so we'll continue next. Now that we are logged in, we can see this is the landing page for the library. But before we get into that, I want to talk about these menu icons on the bottom. These will look exactly the same on your tablets and phones. But I want to go in here first because I want to show you your first handy tip and trick. Because as cute as these icons are, they are sometimes confusing when you're trying to flip between them to find books. So this is essentially the menu option here in the middle, where it lists all your settings. So here we can see our libraries. So we just have the one card set up on here. We can manage those cards, and what that means is we can personalize the colors to make them pink and periwinkle, for example. Or you can rename the card like we showed earlier, and if the app is ever giving you trouble, you can verify and re-enter that library card number and the PIN of Whitman. But, okay, we'll go back. Oh, and if you're ever trying to get back, scroll back up, because that's where it brings up the back menu. It hides it while you're scrolling, so. Next up is our settings. So this is going to be a really handy section that once you've got it set up the first time, you usually don't have to go back in. But notifications are something that you can set up, and you can specify it to where this dot indicates you get notifications by email, by within the app, or by text message, basically. So you can get notifications for when your loans are about to expire. So, oh nuts, the book is due in 2 days, I should really finish that or renew it. Or you can get notifications for when it's expired, when your holds are ready. That one's really fun notification to receive when you've been waiting for a book and it finally arrives. And these notify me sections are for books that we don't yet have in our catalog. So if you ever search for a book and it shows up as a search result but it's not available to borrow, it'll usually have a bell, and that bell indicates the notify me options. Notify me when our library gets a digital copy of this book. So that's what those refer to. And we'll scroll back up to find that back button. Okay, so we talked about libraries and we talked about notifications. Accessibility settings refer to making the app work better for you. So if you have vision things that interrupt your ability to read, there's options here where they can reduce the color variations, so it produces either a smoother or sharper contrast. You can also adjust the text variation, so it'll kind of make all of the words consistent. Some fonts get a little colorful with their shapes and stuff, so often folks who experience dyslexia will enjoy these kinds of features as well. And then reduce motion. If motion on screens causes any kind of symptoms for you, you can change this reduce motion button and it'll actually remove some of the animations that the app does. So like flipping a page, for example, it'll just change the page. Okay. And then if you read books with Libby, or I'm sorry, if you check out books with Libby, you also have the option, if you have a Kindle, which is an Amazon book e-reader, you can send your Libby books to your Kindle to read from your Kindle if you prefer to do that. I would say they're very comparable. So if you don't have a Kindle, it's really not a big deal, but if you have a Kindle and you love it, you don't have to stop using it, or the Kindle app.
Now, are you putting that on your computer? Is that, because I don't have a computer, all I've got is this.
You don't need a computer at
Okay.
any point. As long as you have either a computer, a tablet, or a phone, then you're good. You don't have to have all three.
Okay,
Good question.
I'll catch you later.
Thank you, Wally. Give me a shout if you ever need help with Libby.
Okay, I'll bring my sister down here.
Good.
She's the book reader.
Perfect. I look forward to it.
Bye.
Okay. And
Maybe
then,
my daughter, not my sister.
okay. And then the handy tip and trick, before we get into any of the other menu things at the bottom, is this little navigation section. This is a pretty new, within the last couple of weeks, option that they put into Libby. So in the navigation bar, you can check the little slider to label the icons. And so now there's a name under each of those things so that it's easier to distinguish them. So I would recommend anybody who wants a more convenient and fluid experience, go ahead and slide that over. It doesn't take up much room on the screen and it makes navigating a lot easier. All right, and that essentially covers most of the settings. You can also review your information, so you can back up like your reading history and stuff to a device if you want to. I've never had to because the app is really good at tracking that and between devices and everything. But
I like that, because otherwise I'd forget if I read it.
yes.
And it said,
Read it again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
returned at this date, and I go,
Yep.
well, it's been 3 years.
Yep.
Maybe I can read it again.
There's some features we'll get into here in a minute that kind of explain or help you tell if you've checked out a book and read it before
Okay, yeah.
within the app. But this option here, copy to another device, this, if you've got Libby all the way set up on your phone and you want to get it on your tablet, you can go to this section on both parts so that you don't have to enter your library card number again. It'll give you a code, say the device you're trying to copy it to will give you a code, and then you punch it in here and then it'll mirror them across both devices.
So if I got one on my Kindle and I want to put on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it through there and they'll give me a code on the Kindle.
Just about, yep.
Yeah.
So if you've got your Kindle and your phone,
Yeah,
you'll open up your Libby app,
yeah.
and instead of on the phone entering your library card all over again, you say sync from another device, and then it'll give you that code that you'll put in, and it'll copy it all over.
Oh, okay.
I've only done it a couple of times, and it's handy if you have multiple library cards. Otherwise, it's just as easy to re-enter library card number too. So it's just as easy to re-enter library card number, but if you've got multiple library cards, like I do, then this is where that comes in handy.
Well, if I have a book I generally do the audio,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going someplace and I thought, oh, I haven't finished it. I want to put it on my phone.
As long as you have the app on both devices and you're logged
Okay.
in with your library card on both devices,
Okay.
that book will follow you between them.
You don't have to switch from one to the next, or?
Nope. It'll sync, it'll even, so I read audiobooks almost exclusively on Libby as well.
Yes.
So if I'm 2 hours into one book on my phone and I pull it up on my computer while I'm at work, then it'll say, you made it to 2 hours, would you like to go back to that point?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it'll recognize the titles you're reading across devices.
Okay.
Yep, because it's all associated with your library card, not necessarily just the device.
Okay.
All right.
But if I'm going down the road, I can't get it on my Kindle, but I could get it on my phone.
Say the beginning part again?
If I've got a book on the Kindle and
Mhm.
I'm going someplace and I
Yep.
want to finish reading it, but my Kindle won't do it because I have to have the internet.
Mm.
But I can finish reading it on my phone.
Yes,
Okay.
as long as it's a book that you initially checked out with Libby. If you
Yeah,
send your
yeah.
books to your Kindle to read from, you still have to manage that checkout through the Libby app. So it just sends it to your Kindle so that you can read it.
Do
Okay.
you have to have internet once you download your book though?
You probably do if you're having them read it to you.
I
But
do
no,
believe
But I don't.
No,
I
I
do
don't have
believe
to.
there is an option to download whatever title you're reading for offline purposes. So if you're going on a long flight, you can download that and it will play without internet, Wi-Fi, or cellular data. So I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's an
Well, probably
option.
with Kindle, if you download them from you get them on Amazon, then you download them.
Yep,
So
yep.
I don't think you ever have to have internet. You wouldn't.
Yeah, if I
So
download it
With
from-
the Kindle, that might depend on how your Kindle is set up, whether it's set to automatically download things that you've purchased or have borrowed. So that might depend on Kindle, but I'm pretty confident there's an option to download that here. We'll check for that when we get to the browsing part. Okay. All right, so that's the menu that we have just looked at. Next, we're gonna go to the library, and it's that cute little book roofed building here. I don't know if you can actually see that, but it's a book on the roof. This is essentially a landing page. It's like the end caps in a library where there's kind of curated piles of things. So for library card sign up month, the Nebraska Overdrive librarians have selected titles that they thought readers might enjoy. And there's lots of such groups of books. Latest titles added, or Hispanic authored titles for Hispanic Heritage Month. So if you're ever just kind of looking for something fresh and new, maybe something you might not have picked for yourself, this dashboard landing page that the library menu is a great place to start. And also this section here for guides, it does have kind of best things to read that they've got, or newest titles and that kind of thing. And we'll get into the details of the titles when we get to the searching tab. But, okay, so that's essentially a landing page and a good starting point whether you're ready to browse for something particular or maybe random. The search one is for when you're looking for something particular. So this search icon with the magnifying glass is where you can search for individual authors or titles of books or magazines, for example, like the New Yorker. Yorker, like that. And you'll see over here, it's got the result and then what it's organized as. So if there happened to be a book called the New Yorker as well, then this might distinguish between it. So we will go to this one and we'll see that there's the magazine series and then there's other books that might be related, but for the magazines you can see, you can look at that or you can look at all the available issues and it'll have the September, the August, and so on. But back to the searching. Cool. So, has anybody ever heard of the Joe Pickett books
Mhm.
by C.J. Box?
Yeah.
So it's
My
a-
dad has read every one.
I just finished the latest one. But it's a series called the Joe Pickett series by C.J. Box, the author, and each book has its own title. So the first book, for example, is called Open Season. But if I couldn't remember what that book was called, you can even search for, come on you. What? You can search for series as well. And so you see here, it's wondering if you mean an author, an individual title of a book, or a series. So if we click series, it'll pull up all of them, and the series will tell you what number it is in the series.
Now, is that a mystery or?
And I tried to get that.
Yes, I would say mystery kind of thriller. It's about a Wyoming game warden who finds himself often caught up in local mischief.
Okay.
It's fiction.
Yes,
Yeah,
fiction.
yeah.
Yep. And so
Okay.
here's that open season. Like I said, we can see it's number 1, and it'll show you all of the ones that they have, whether it's an ebook or an audiobook. Now let's say you're looking just for the audiobooks because the narrator for this series is quite good. I just want to see what audiobooks they have, and we can specify that, and we'll see all of those. And a quick way to tell if you're looking at an audiobook versus an ebook is whether it says how many hours it is, or if it says play a sample or read a sample. So that's just a quick visual way to kind of gloss through them if you don't feel like filtering. All right, so we've talked about the search thing and how you can use a title or an author's name or a series even. And so those things will all help you get through there. But let's say you have an odd search. You don't have a title or an author in mind, but you know you want a fiction audiobook for us that's for maybe teens, right? So with this, there's these options on the library page. We're here in this part. You can check out books that are available now. You can browse ones that are already available that you don't have to go on a wait list for. And then we can specify, let's say, audiobooks. And of these audiobooks, we can continue filtering down, because you see we have about 17,000 titles under these current results of books that are available and audiobooks. We can specify, perhaps they came out in the last year. Or we can specify we want a young adult, so maybe we're trying to recommend a book for our friend or teenage granddaughter or son or whatever, and then you can specify things like the subject. And before I expand this, brace yourselves, because they've got it all.
Oh my goodness.
So whether you're looking for something funny, science fiction and fantasy, this is a personal favorite genre of mine, which is horror, and everything in between, travel literature, classic literature, Christian fiction. You can specify whether you're just looking for a nonfiction book. I forget where it is in the list, but it is an option. So, and every time you click something, it narrows it down. So you can show your results. So young adult Western audiobooks that are available right now, and here's at least 3 to start with. So you can browse as broadly or as specifically as you like.
Wow.
Great. Okay, so we've talked about the menu, the library, and the search options. Now we're going to go to, we're about to go to tags, and I'm about to explain what the tags are, but we'll start with shelf. So since I'm logged in, we can see what book I have checked out right now. It's supposedly a horror fiction book. It's a little bit kind of romantic and spooky, but I wouldn't say it's terrifying by any measure. But we can see that I've got it checked out. I'm about 86% the way through, and since I've checked it out, it has marked a special tag. Now, what are tags? So tags are gonna be, good evening, Shane. How's it going?
Not too bad.
You
Is this
hear-
where the chamber meetings at tonight?
They're gonna meet out on the picnic tables tonight.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice.
I thought it was at the community building. The team.
Oh, you
Not
see, we
sure.
have an audience member back here now, he gave up on his mouse job.
Oh, great. Yes, he's retired now to the leisurely enjoy the perks of the
They're
job.
listening.
You're gonna start sneezing any minute.
You probably have allergy reactions.
So let me take a step back a little bit. So we're browsing for books. Let's say while we're searching, we find a book that we'd like to read, like this one. But we don't necessarily want to read it now, but we don't want to forget it. We can tag it with a label. And tags, they have smart tags, which are things that they apply automatically for you, such as books you've checked out before. That tag will be called borrowed. Or books that you've sampled, whether you played a sample or read a sample before bothering to check it out. Or you can create a new tag. So I've seen households who share the same library card number or same Libby app. They'll maybe specify these are books for Susan and this is books for John, or John's reading list. Or on my phone, which is thoroughly set up with Libby, I have tags for fiction, poetry, magazines, or very specific ones like fitness titles I'd like to read, usually magazines, and that kind of thing. So you can specify, and you can use emojis. So if you want to have like a baking tag of baking books, then you could use like the cupcake emoji or something, or the slice of cake. So those are fun and very, very customizable. They can be very personal to you, which is fun when you're trying to say, well, I don't feel like maybe reading all of those ones right now, but I know I have a large to-be-read list, and you can access them very easily. So when you go to borrow a book, you can have the option to tag it then.
So it doesn't hold it for you though?
Nope.
It just keeps it for
It's
yourself?
it's a list, exactly, kind of like a Pinterest board
Okay.
almost, or
Yeah.
a to-be-read pile.
Now, can you have a book that you read and an audio book at the same time, or they have to be separate?
I've not tried that.
Okay.
But I would imagine within, let's say you're on your phone and you've got an audiobook and an ebook checked out, I imagine it would be one at a time, because let's do some science. Let's find out. So this one is an ebook. I'm gonna go ahead and borrow it. So if we borrow it, it says we're borrowing it for 14 days, so we'll go ahead and borrow that. And then we're gonna borrow an audiobook, and we're gonna try to play it and see if we can open the ebook as well. So let me,
You can set the borrow for like 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days is the most, right?
no, it's automatically set to 14 days, but once you've checked it out, you can
Mine
go,
always goes 21.
you might
Maybe it's,
have,
well, I don't do audio,
okay,
so maybe that,
maybe that's
Read
it.
it's the books.
It could be maybe newer titles have shorter periods,
Oh.
because like physical libraries will do that, where their new titles, their new materials maybe check out for only a week or two so that they can circulate them, or if they're in high demand. But, so we've got an audiobook checked out. Let's go to, I just want an ebook. Remove the filter. Okay, so this is an ebook. I'm just gonna borrow this one. I've never tried this. This is very fun. Okay, go to shelf so we can see all the books that we've got checked out. So, I think I've got the TV muted, so we won't be able to hear the audiobook, but we'll see the progress bar ticking away, so we'll know that it's playing. Alright, and we'll take it back just a little bit so that we can play some. Alright, so we see that progress bar slowly ticking away. Now let's go back, because it should continue to play. You can see here that it's got the option to pause, so we know it's playing. Now let's open the Dustborn book, Libby. And we'll see if it replaces that playing book. and it appears that it has. So otherwise there'd be the menu saying that the audiobook is still playing. So no, I don't think you can do both at the same
Okay.
time, but if you're listening to an audiobook and reading a book, which one's getting your most attention, I wonder. Alright, let's head back. Okay, so we've done some science, that was fun. Okay, so your shelf. We've talked a little bit about tags and how they're very fun and customizable, and the last area is the shelf. The shelf shows you what you have checked out, what you've got on hold, as well as books that you've read in the past, and if you have any notices like your hold is ready and you should probably borrow it by now, it'll be in there. But timeline is really fun because it'll show you about how many books you've been reading over a course of time. And this is where you can go to see your history of checkouts. So I've been reading rather aggressively over the summer while I'm doing my chores and stuff, but you see how it says borrowed here? That's one of those smart tags that it's placed. So if we go back to the tags, we can see, since I've not created any on this device, it's only showing the smart tag. So of all the books that I've borrowed, here's all the books listed with that tag. So we're looking at that tag specifically. Okay. All right, and that is the kind of orientation for the Libby app. And I'm going to take it back to kind of the landing page and open it up to questions.
I have a question. Is it in our best interest to have more than one library card?
Oh, I think everybody should have as many library cards as they can get their hands on.
Really? So, like, I think I've got one at the Shadron Library when we were doing yoga over there, but
Yep.
Do they have books then that Crawford doesn't have?
Actually, because Crawford and Shadron were all within that same Western library system that I had mentioned, that district of Nebraska, we share the same pool of books. But the benefit of having more than one library card, even within the same pool, is that if you'll recall, your library card with Crawford has 6 checkouts. But if you've got 2 library cards, then you have the ability to check out up to 12 books. So
Well, you'd have more for loans or
Yes.
ones that you
exactly,
hold.
and holds, yep.
Yeah,
So
that
it
would
be
help. Because sometimes you want to hold all those or
Mhm.
put them in there and you only get 3.
yes.
Okay.
And sometimes, so I have a residual Fort Collins library card, and their libraries are much bigger than many Nebraska libraries, and so they have a whole different slew of books. So having library cards anywhere you can get them is
Okay,
always a
'cause
good
I
bet.
think I have one in Lincoln also.
Nice, yes. And when we set up our Crawford library card on the Libby app, we entered our library card number and our PIN. Some library cards, like Shadron's, for example, they might have a PIN that's their general one, but I know that when I was over there using it, I had set my own password, and so that's the password I actually have to enter. So for getting your library card entered into Libby, always ask the library in particular what the login information is. Sometimes they'll be a little bit different.
Can you get one from a different state, like Colorado? Or? Okay.
I've got one from California, one from Colorado, 2 from Nebraska, and 1 from South Dakota.
And do most libraries charge you for library cards?
I don't think many library cards or libraries in the nation charge for library cards anymore.
They don't.
It's usually if they issue you a pretty card of some kind, they might charge a replacement fee if you lost it and needed a new one. But most of the time it's just a matter of providing proof of address or identification. And that's especially so in metropolitan areas, like the Omaha Public Library probably has more detailed forms for getting library cards. But it's not common practice anymore to charge much. In fact, even many libraries are beginning to go fine and fee free so as to encourage people to continue using the library without having to stress about money and fines and overdue fees and that kind of thing.
Now, can I get an actual card? I don't know what happened to my library card. I got it 14 years ago or something like
For
that.
this library?
Yeah, when we first moved here, I got it, and I don't know what I did with it.
So I've seen only a couple library cards that people got from this
Yeah, I
library
was gonna
before.
say,
Oh,
And
you don't need to have one then.
You don't have to have a physical library card. I did try to specify that, like, you just need the library card account. Whenever people get library cards since I've been here, I try to give them a card that says what their library card number is and what the Libby pin is, for example. But as long as you know the name that's associated with that library card account, we can get you checked out and set up on Libby, no problem.
So I'll have to.
I couldn't tell you what it
Library
is
card.
now.
Oh, and regarding physical library cards, I am trying to see about getting us new library cards that we can attach library card numbers to, like pretty nice hard plastic ones for people to keep in their wallets. They're not necessary, but I remember being a little kid, and that's one of the first official documents that you got to carry in a wallet.
Ours was that paper. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it was like immunization things.
Yes. So they make such cool ones now. That is something I would like to make available for our patrons, whether you're a new patron or an existing one. So when I get that going, I'll probably put something in the paper to say, hey, if you have a library card account and you want a brand spanking new library card, come on down. So I don't know when I'll be able to do that, but I do want to do that, probably at least within the next year or so. So
Can we get on your internet here?
absolutely.
Yeah, I want
So
to
we
do
can
that.
ask you questions?
Yes. So the internet for the guest internet is going to be called something like Crawford Library Guest. It'll be one of those. And the Wi-Fi password is footprints, all one word, lowercase.
Footprint.
Yep, footprints, plural. Yeah, with an S
Is
at the
that
end.
what, Brenda, is that what you had, you showed me?
Diane?
I mean, oh, I thought it was somebody else. Okay.
That's okay. Let's see, so I don't even get on internet on mine.
And our library has
Browser.
wicked fast internet, because it's actually,
That's good, isn't
it's
it?
even faster than our hardline connections to the desktops.
Somebody showed me on their phone
Mhm.
that this is happening tonight.
Yes, settings.
Was it a
Oh,
website
settings.
that she got on her
Settings
phone?
and then Wi-Fi.
Was it what?
A website, I can get a website for the library on my phone,
You can, yes.
and it'll tell you when you have different events,
Mhm.
cause I don't get the paper anymore.
Usually they do
So
that
I
one.
have,
all the choices.
we have a public
Because then it'll
website
go
for the
down here,
city.
Networks.
So this is the library's website here.
What happened?
And I always try to put whatever upcoming events we have, I try to put the flyer on here.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
aware.
what I
So if
saw.
you go to crawfordnebraska.net, which is the city website, we're gonna be under residents, and you'll scroll down to public
Oh,
library.
yeah.
You are?
And that's
just
us.
a
I'm already,
minute.
you might
I
already
just got
be
in,
on.
no, I just got in there.
Oh.
We also have a Facebook page, which I'll pull up on this
Yeah,
one.
the Libby app,
So now I have to go back to the app thing,
that's the easiest way, I think.
and which is what, under the apps?
Well, you could, I suppose. No, that's to look at your app.
So this is the library's Facebook page, so if you participate in Facebook at all, this is us. And if you click on the more option, here, I'll make this a little bigger, easier to look at.
Yeah, can't figure out how to get to it.
Let's see.
I got Facebook on my phone.
Because usually,
Okay.
here's the one.
And-
Let's see.
See, like,
I don't
Gotta
know.
find your face. That's your Facebook.
Yep,
Page
so we're
is
called
just-
Crawford Public Library.
How do I
and
get to it with my,
Let's take a look.
I'm just, I'm not,
Oh, you okay? Okay, we'll
Did
search
she
for
say
us
you
with
could
that little
get into
magnifying glass icon.
oh,
Yep,
okay.
and then we'll type Crawford Public Library.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and then we should show up in the
I'm
results.
totally lost. So what am I doing?
Did you get on?
you could,
I'm trying to find it, I gotta get the app first.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have to go to some browser.
Yeah,
Okay.
browser.
Are you on a Kindle?
Yeah.
So it'll be, I think it's just called the Amazon app store.
Oh, so just go to Amazon store.
Yes. So,
Where you are.
there was an icon. So
Where's your Amazon?
so
Yeah.
this is what I think the
I
Amazon
don't
App
really do
Store's
much with that.
icon is. So do you have anything like that on your device?
Well, maybe if I do it like this, if I do it Amazon apps, write it that way.
Perhaps so.
I just read my Amazon books, is about all I do.
She pays for hers.
Yeah, I paid for all of them.
She should not.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to, at least.
No.
You have
That's
options.
okay.
It's like, why pay for it? Amazon App Store, download. Is that what I'm looking at?
For sure.
Let's see, it's coming.
Let's go home. Oh, you're fine. So this is, okay, Kindle apps.
See, I didn't see anything in there.
Don't you order it from Amazon?
I haven't
on
used a
there?
Kindle for a long time, so that's why I appreciate being able to look at it.
Or not?
A lot of times I just come from my phone and then
Oh,
it's over to my
okay.
Kindle.
Oh, here's mine. On
Okay.
this. It's like a white one. Do you have that one?
I think I found it.
Okay.
I don't know if I got to the icon properly or to that same one, but I believe that. So if you hit your app store, does it look like about like this? This is two different devices certainly, but now that we're in the app store, we can try searching for Libby.
Hmm.
And what was the password here?
The
As a guest?
Footprints.
Footprints?
Yes.
Lowercase.
Okay, so maybe your Kindle might not, it's only the newer versions that have their own app store, but otherwise you can go for that.
Okay.
I might have to do some research on that to see how to get to
Yeah, 'cause it is probably.
where you would go to
15
download
years
the
old,
apps.
probably.
That's in great shape.
Well,
I
it might not be
can't-
quite that old, but yeah.
I can't
That's all I
do
just
it
read
here
about.
because I'm not on the internet
Oh,
here.
I look
year
at
is
the
it?
So
internet.
what we'll
year is
do
this
is
one?
Well, I
we'll
said it
open
might
your
be 15
internet
years old.
Oh, I was
menu,
gonna say, I have a 12, but I just figured it wouldn't probably even have an app.
and we're gonna
Yeah.
select Crawford
haven't even
Library
tried
Guest,
that.
and it's gonna
Don't you
be
read on your
footprints.
Kindle?
No, this is new to me, I don't read.
Oh.
Now you better read.
And just so that
I
we
don't-
make sure we spell it all
well,
right, yep.
I
And we'll
have
hit
an
connect.
iPad, but it's a 2012.
Okay.
So if you're in a second,
Well,
it'll
I
say
didn't know.
connected.
So
Great.
I need to fire that baby
And
up.
go
Yeah.
back.
I just fired two.
And now you can open your app
for Christmas.
store.
Okay.
He's gonna love this. No,
Never? Well, I'm gonna fire it up. I'll
And
Yes.
charge it.
search
I bet it would for books.
for
As long as I
Libby.
can get on.
as long as you get on.
And you'll
the
type out
internet.
Libby,
But see,
Libby.
I was just gonna use my laptop.
yeah, let's
Same
see.
There it is, right on top.
Oh, okay.
And it says
I don't
open, so
get-
you
do
already have
have
it
a
on your
phone
device
library in
somewhere.
yours?
I
Well,
think you
I'm
put it
already-
in there when it first,
I'm
when you
already
first
signed
started.
in.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have an app, I mean, I
No,
don't
I
have an
mean,
icon.
I'm already
Okay.
signed in
Oh,
too, but I
okay.
thought I already had.
Let's see if we
But I
can
don't
find
see
it.
my
My connection
app.
is not
Oh,
private.
maybe you won't.
You won't
Oh,
see
okay.
it.
There it is, just
Yeah.
there.
Where did we
Oh.
find that? She had a
I
picture
guess I
of
didn't
it.
realize that. Okay, I was wondering what that
You're a
one
step
was.
ahead of the game, yeah, you're doing great.
And then what
Well,
about the
this is
phone?
weird.
Okay, so,
It says my
this
connection
is
isn't
the Apple App
safe,
Store, is
so
that blue
okay.
one with the
Yeah.
When I
A.
put in Libby app.
And you'll search again
Just
for
trying to
Libby
find
once
it.
it's done.
You know,
Oh,
and then it said for
okay.
Kindle
Loading.
Fire. But then it says your connection is not private.
Hmm.
Am I hooked up already to yours? I don't understand. I put in, and it said Libby app for Kindle Fire, but it says my connection is not private.
Okay.
So when I, let's
Click
say,
the advanced button.
so like when I search, I search for.
Proceed
Okay, I
to
love
Bing.com.
These are the ones I've read
I
the
think it's
most.
just your security looking out for you, just in case.
This is the new one,
Libby.
right?
Big
And then
app.
the blue search button.
Well, I got all the Libby's here, which one?
So-
Well, those are just text, so
Oh.
you'll wanna see the results.
Okay. Well, that's
Oh, I see. It had an
And it's a
objection
series,
to
number one,
Bing.com
series?
not
yeah,
necessarily
this
what you're
is
trying to
the
get.
first in the series.
So now
of
I'd be
books.
all right
Somebody's
if I
gonna-
press this.
Well, you know what I should do?
Oh, 2020.
Oh dear, well, no audio book in 2020.
Yes, it's only the newer ones that they just
Yeah,
kind of
just
started putting out
And then go
that
back.
have the App Store.
So I
But-
just need to do a studying on it, or?
See, I read that in December.
Now, if I, will this
So this is the
make a
first time.
icon on my phone or
So, according to this, it says that you already have this on your device, so you can
And
open
this
it
one
from
is
here,
sound.
but it is found on your phone, it just might not have an icon saved to your front pages.
Okay,
And if you want help with that, we might be able to do that.
okay.
Yeah, so get on there and borrow it.
Okay, so where do I go? To my shelf? No.
Nope, you just
So-
put borrow.
I'll have to do some more research regarding the
Oh,
Kindle
yeah, I do
tablet,
have
Ones that use
but
that every night,
if
so I
you
put it in there.
have,
And I think I just put it
if
in
you
the
have Libby on your
tank. I don't
phone,
know exactly.
you
I would
sh-
have it.
I got,
Actually, I could have got
You
it.
can read it. So
if you have
the
Libby on
thing
your
is,
phone,
put
you
your
should
app
be able to
on
go
on
to
your other
the,
one,
Yeah.
on your Kindle.
And get it
is
started.
that a
The first-
website or this?
this
app?
is that first, yeah,
Mine
this is
just
the
synced
app.
it together.
And I've got,
I didn't
now I've
Oh, I
gotta
see.
do my library card yet, right?
But
Yes,
when you
and during that
borrow it,
setup process, there will be an
like,
option
let's
where it
say,
says
you can borrow this.
you like to
Okay,
read
November
with,
9th.
and then you can choose
Right.
Kindle.
Yep.
And that way, from the Libby app, whatever you
There you
check
go.
out, it'll
See, it's
automatically
right
send
there.
it to your Kindle as well. So
Oh,
we might not be
okay,
able to
then I
get the
can
Libby app
borrow it.
on
No,
here,
Not yet.
but you can still send it to your
Okay.
Kindle account.
Alright, well, I'll
To
just put
21 on here.
Okay, where do you have,
I'll just
where
wait
they
for my
have,
library
cause I'll
card.
never remember.
See,
Okay,
You
so
can-
we're going to go to
where it says you
menu.
can borrow it for
Okay.
14 days,
And
if you click on it, you can
Oh,
borrow
it's
it for
because,
21.
okay.
Cause it's a pain in the butt if you don't have enough time to read it.
So if I say borrow now, it's gonna give me access right away, so I need to have time to read it, really.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you'll have the other one read, won't you?
I don't
Do you
know.
read a lot? No?
I haven't been.
Okay, well, I
Customize
have to ask
navigation,
Ashley how you do
and
that.
then label
She
the
said you
icons,
can
so now
renew
they're
it.
labeled.
Oh,
I've-
Yeah, I've
okay.
done that
Okay.
with
You have?
So now you
Well,
can
I
browse
think-
about.
Now I can
Because-
figure out on the,
Is it easy to renew a book? Because I've never done that.
It is,
It just tells you to renew, doesn't it?
let's see if I can pull
I've
it up.
got Archer's Voice still on, and I missed the first.
Well,
Oh, you
could you borrow it, or is it still?
No. Yeah, I'm ninth in line now.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to renew that. I mean, it'll just tell you when it comes.
Started on the
Yeah.
24th.
Is that the one that I was gonna read too, is Archer's Voice?
It's
No, I
good.
wanna read the one we just seen the movie.
Oh,
Okay,
it
so
is
if you
with
wanted
us.
to renew, you would go to manage loan, and then you can return it
Oh,
early,
mhm.
or
Oh,
if
okay.
you're close to your return date, then it'll say like renew or something like that.
Okay,
Oh, here it is, here's the button.
yeah,
So you see how it's grayed out and there's an hourglass?
uh-huh,
It's waiting until you're a couple days
oh.
from that
Nice.
return period.
Okay, I always try to return mine early because
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it if my book that I've been
Yeah.
waiting for weeks comes up.
was that navigation? And I got a
Mhm.
written thing. I tried to put these in my phone down here.
This is the option that we're looking for, is labeled
Oh,
It's
icons.
10:24.
And
Then
then
I don't know
now
what
it's
I
changed.
did there.
Put those other libraries
I don't
in,
want,
but-
undo it.
Nope, it's okay, you can disregard it. So now it's selected, and now you can see that the icons on the bottom are labeled.
Ah, okay, and that'll stay there.
Yep.
No,
Oh,
I
good.
don't think so.
So now you can
Okay.
just browse between the menu options.
Okay.
Or maybe I was gonna do it and didn't do it.
Well, those were
Can she
fabulous
get her number?
questions, absolutely.
Oh, that's all right, yeah.
Okay. And do you guys mind if I do that from here?
No,
Okay.
We won't peek.
I'm pretty sure it had my married name, but I've only been married 52 years. I bet,
Okay.
I bet I changed.
You think it's got Mary on
I
there?
hope so.
You'll get a
It might.
preview of the librarian's side of the screen.
oh, nice.
And for this part, I will discontinue the recording, and we're just kind of into the getting set up on our own stuff. So
See here,
again,
so it
thank you
says
guys
manage
for
Thank you.
all the wonderful
Okay.
questions and for
Where
participating.
you can have more than one.
So when I get
See,
home,
my
I gotta
phone
go
doesn't
back
say
and change to
Where
my
did you see that?
internet at home, I mean, my,
You'll automatically pop off of our
libraries,
Wi-Fi,
manage
and it should automatically connect to your
Oh,
setup at
okay.
home. You
Okay.
shouldn't have too much trouble there.